Let's talk about how to do 90 days of no contact with your ex the right way. Now, I want to cover this because I just recently did a video on why no contact usually doesn't work and why it fails for people that are trying it. So I want to give you an idea or a frame of what you should be focusing on during this time period and for how long. So I know if you're going through the roughest painful experience that you've had, right, through this breakup with your ex, the idea of doing no contact in the first place, I mean, truly committing yourself to that no contact is already a struggle. It's challenging, it's hard. It's the last thing you actually want to really do, even though you know you need it. And so it's even more uncomfortable to hear doing it for 90 days, right? A whole 3 months of you having no contact with your ex. But there's a reason for this, because in that first month, you're still kind of piecing things together. It's usually around in that second month, you start to really come to some sort of terms with things. And around that third month, you're back in more of a stable position on your own as an individual again, and not as heavily tethered to your ex and the emotions and so forth that are associated. Now, different strokes, different folks doesn't mean everyone's going to be great and ready to get back out there again in 3 months. It all depends on what you do in that time period of that no contact. But on average, you'll be in a way better position to be functional and operate in a healthier way 90 days later versus 1 month or even 2. Now, the 4 key goals you should be focusing on during this 90-day no contact period is 1, creating space between you and your ex, right, in the situation. 2, finding clarity in the situation, getting a clear mind about it all. 3, healing from it, processing and working through your emotions associated with your ex. And 4th, growing, feeding yourself again, filling your glass up and getting back to being you. So first, let's talk creating that space. That means you need to be severing every piece of contact that you can with your ex. Anything that's within your power, you should be doing to create that space and distance. You need them out of your orbit so you can actually work through recalibrating your energy on your own autonomously outside of them being a part of your world. So that means cutting off that social media. That means not doing any contact or exchanges between phone calls and text messages with your ex. That means, if you need to, avoiding certain common places out in public that you may run into your ex because you guys both frequently go there, just to create enough space for you to have them out of your mind as frequent as possible so you can focus on you. And in that space you created, you should be creating a healthy environment around you. Nothing but healthy things for you, meaning these things are good for your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And if you're curious as to what healthy should be, what it should look like with that environment around you, it should be all things that are first serving to you, meaning it's beneficial to you, your circumstance, and the people around you. Positive, meaning it contributes to your personal development and growth. It should feel good, meaning it should feel good to you emotionally, right? And if it does feel good, you make sure it's a healthy thing that feels good to you by tracing how it benefits you, right? Tracing back an understandable route as to why this thing is actually good for you, why it's positive for you, right? And why it contributes to you feeling good for the right reason. It should be self-value building, meaning whatever this environment is, contributes to you seeing, identifying, and aligning with your self-worth, reminding you of how valuable you are. It should be spirit aligned, meaning this environment feeds positive energy to you. It stirs some excitement in you, right? It's motivating in some way. And it connects you to love, the love within yourself, most importantly, but it makes you feel that connection of love and nurture, which is what you need a lot right now going through this space. Now let's talk clarity. Finding clarity during this time period is so essential. And what you need to do this is take time to sit down and get your thoughts on paper, the whole circumstance, and really so you can evaluate it from taking a step back. All the ways you feel, all the things that happened and what they meant to you, right? Start compartmentalizing and putting these things together in a format and in a way that's digestible for you to make sense of everything. And the key piece here is you're writing all these things down to seek the meaning in these things to you. What the underlying meaning is in the experience that you got. Not just that you're hurt or you feel betrayed or whatever, but what was it about the circumstance that made you feel that way? What was it in there that happened that made you have that takeaway from it? So you can get clarity on where you really are versus where your emotions are in a space of being raw and just signaling to you that you're not happy and that you're hurt. Then after we've done that, we move on to the healing portion. After you've gotten clarity on everything that was going on and you started to kind of compartmentalize things and process, then now you want to come to conclusions on what do you need to do to heal. After you get clear on all the meanings from everything that happened, now you gotta start asking yourself, what do I need to offer these meanings to make them the meanings I want them to be, so I can release and let go of, or I can change the way I'm seeing the situation so I can free myself of this negative energy. And while you're going through all this process, the last part is growth. Focusing on growing, which is filling your glass up, getting back to doing things that makes you feel good, feel happy, feel excited, feel like you're making progress, right? Things that you enjoy, things that remind you of how valuable you are, celebrating yourself, all the things that pours to nurture into you actively beyond just verbal affirmations and the things that you communicate to yourself in your mind. And so what that means is you should have a pretty full schedule of checking in with yourself and living a life that feels vibrant, meeting the needs that you have to feel like you're living an active, healthy, whole life. So in that first month, you should be doing most of your work to figure this all out and piece it together, right? To even begin getting the pattern going. And by the second month, you should be kind of rolling into it strong. And by the third, you should be really improving on it. And at that point, you should have a lot of those emotions worked through. It doesn't mean you're going to be 100% void of feeling anything towards your ex, but you'll be in a way healthier position and way more sound mind space to be able to process and navigate if your ex does come across your path again, and to make a sound decision on whether you need to have them be a part of your life in any respect at all, if that's even possible. But one thing for sure, if you actually are playing full out and doing this for yourself, you will never go running back to your ex in a toxic situation that you left that wasn't good for you anymore, because now you're valuing yourself too much and you've built a life and some momentum around that life that you value too much to let it be in jeopardy or ruined by your ex coming back and bringing the toxicity that they brought with them when they left you the first time. Or even if you left them, right? Same difference. You'll never want to go back to that experience and ruin all this amazing work and the success and this progress that you've been building for yourself. If you need to help building your muscle to go through this 90-day no contact period with your ex so you can come back stronger than ever, either email or DM me coaching and we will get to work if you're ready to put the work in. Let's get it.